Hey everyone, welcome to my channel where I talk about everything electric guitar. From gear reviews to book reviews, guitar lessons and tips to much, much more. I've got you covered. So guys, today I thought I'd share with you what in my opinion are the 3 most game-changing and yet simple tricks to master sweep picking for electric guitar. So let's dive right in with trick number 1. Trick number 1, feel the notes beneath your fingers. What I mean by this is when your pick hits a note, you need to feel that that pick strike came at the same time as your left hand hit a note on the fretboard. What this does is it makes your playing sound flowing, it makes it not sound choppy, and that's what we want in sweep picking, and that's what I'm sure all of you strive for, at least most of the time. You're not playing staccato style. This will definitely help you advance and take huge strides in your sweep picking, because a lot, and I mean a lot, I might even go so far as to say the majority of beginning guitarists, they want to play sweep picking super fast and just like and that's just not realistic. You need to play it a little bit slower and maybe think more like Vivaldi and Bach. So ways you can feel the notes beneath your fingers are: first, play slower. Just really milk the notes for their worth and don't try to burn through these sweep picking shapes. Especially it's easy if you're playing a cage shape like say the A shape or the E shape, then it's very easy to just want to speed through them. No, play slower, slow down, and you will get better so that you can play faster. I know, it's kind of a contradiction, but it works. And then secondly, use a metronome. Now, I know this seems cliche, so don't stop watching. Just hold on a sec. Using a metronome will help with many things, and I mean many things. It will help you when you're playing with other people to keep a rhythm. It will help you when you're wanting to record songs and albums and do studio work if that's something you're wanting to do. And it will help you with your day-to-day practice, and it definitely will help with making sweep picking sound fluid and flowing and awesome. If you use a metronome, this will help to synchronize your hands even more. So use a metronome pretty much always when you're practicing. Okay guys, trick number 2. Trick number 2 is practice your left hand only. I would say that the majority, and actually almost all, of sweep picking like method books and videos out there on the internet focus on your right hand with sweep picking. Now, this is very important, and I'm not at all saying you should not practice your right hand. You should. But in my opinion, your left hand should take up equally, if not more, of your time of practice because, I mean, let's face it, I'm right-handed. My left hand is not my dominant hand, and so it's going to maybe not have as easy of a time or as quick of a time picking up new shapes and picking up new ideas. Practicing your left hand only will help you a ton in your sweep picking, because if you've ever taken your right hand out, you'll notice that, oh, you can't keep up with your left hand because your right hand can pull your left hand through a passage that it's struggling with. Same thing the other way. So what you want to do is you want to take your right hand and reach it across the fretboard and use your right hand to mute near the nut so that notes don't ring out. And then what you can do is you can practice your left hand, so basically all hammer-ons and maybe pull-offs if there was hammer-ons and pull-offs in the original piece. And what this will do is it will strengthen your left hand, it will help it to synchronize with your right hand when you add the right hand back in, and it will make it stronger and more precise. Also, don't hurt yourself. This will probably feel very uncomfortable. Actually, it will definitely feel very uncomfortable for the first quite a while. So don't practice too long, and don't keep practicing if it hurts. And definitely don't tense up. That's the worst thing you can do. Well, one of the worst things you could do. Because if you tense up, you're basically destroying all your purpose. You never see a guy on stage, for some heavy metal band that you just love, waving his hair around and just like clenching his teeth for the sheer pressure of trying to get his left hand to work. No, that's just not how it works, guys. So practicing your left hand only is extremely important in sweep picking technique. Okay guys, trick number 3. The last few tricks I've been talking about technique. This one is a little bit less about technique and more about theory. Don't freak out, it'll be okay. Go beyond the cage shapes. Most beginner guitarists, and this is not a bad thing, but most beginner guitarists learn the cage shapes, and that's what they do for sweep picking, which is fine because it's a good way to learn the technique. But if you're an intermediate guitarist or an advanced guitarist, you don't want to play the A shape or the E shape. It just sounds kind of boring in a song, in most cases. What you can do to go beyond those cage shapes, other than learning seventh arpeggios and things like that, would be to add diatonic or chromatic notes in between different notes of the sweep picking shapes. If you don't know what diatonic or chromatic notes mean, then I would recommend checking out my video about Troy Stetna's awesome guitar theory book, Fretboard Mastery. And I have a link to that in the description, and it's up in the cards. So what these notes will do, they'll make your song sound more melodic, they'll make them sound more appealing, and they'll make them more unique, because no one wants to hear another sweep picking song with just the cage shapes. It just is too cliche. Another thing that you can do is experiment with scales and extended arpeggios. It's a very common misconception, and most guitarists don't even realize they're believing it, but it's a very common misconception that all you can do with sweep picking is arpeggios. That's just not true. It is easiest to do it with arpeggios, I would say, but you can also play scales with sweep picking. Now, it's a little bit harder. It'll probably take some more stretches, but definitely try that, and that will take your sweep picking to another level of being less a technique on its own and more integrated to your general technique. And then our extended arpeggios, what I mean by this is I mean 9th arpeggios, 11th arpeggios, 13th arpeggios. These sound absolutely insane, especially when played at high speeds. Now, don't play too fast yet, remember. But they do sound awesome, even when played slowly. And if you want to check out extended arpeggios even more, I would check out Rusty Cooley. He is an absolutely insane virtuoso guitarist who loves extended arpeggios and scales with sweep picking, and sometimes with legato and alternate picking and everything under the sun, or the universe for that matter. I think the guitarists need to get the idea that sweep picking can sound awesome if it's not played ridiculously fast, 1,000,000 miles a minute. There are many songs in which sweep picking is a lot slower, and it still sounds awesome. And it can be just as hard. You can use hammer-ons and pull-offs to make it harder. I mean, just try everything. Help yourself. There's a million ways you can make sweep picking hard without just playing it fast and make it sound awesome. If you want to listen to a song that really inspired me to go slower with my sweep picking and make it more melodic and just milk the notes for their worth, listen to WINTERSUN Time, the guitar solo from that song. It is absolutely mad. So guys, I wish you the very best in your sweep picking journey. And do not get down on yourself if you're having a really hard time, because let's face it, it's an incredibly hard technique, and everyone knows that. So, why are you beating yourself up? Yeah. So guys, if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please do give it a like and hit the subscribe button to see my upcoming videos. Till next time, rock on, and God bless.